Hello everybody. I have got I'm going to do a Brigandine video here. Whoops, I'm doing the wrong thing. So this video I'm going to do probably just the first turn of New Almekia for this one. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the knights and kind of some of the strategy. And then I actually will load my game at some point here. I actually have one that I'm a little bit farther in so that we can see the knights that they get specifically when they're kind of quest knights, kind of, right? Yeah, special knights. So basically just the knights that they don't start out with right away. Obviously, every country has a certain amount of quest knights that they can get. There's like a pool of, I don't know, whatever, 6 to 10, maybe even more, actually. Oh, Haley is in the first. Oh, that's funny. Huh, never noticed that before. Haley is a knight that you get eventually in New Almekia, but you don't get her until a bit later. I forget what the requirement. It's something like I think you have to own 14 castles or something like that. But anyways, yeah. So obviously, I'm just zipping through all the dialogue here. This is I don't know, not terribly interesting stuff. There isn't much as far as storyline in this game. So, anyways, all right. Let's get down to it right away. So the lord or ruler of New Almekia is Lance. He starts at level 1. Now, I actually don't do anything with him until I take over Logris and defeat Asgares. The reason for that is because his class changes to King, and the King has better strength growth. It's not, I'll be honest, it's not that important. And I don't even know what the difference is like. You know, I don't know if it's like 4, if he gets like 4 to 6 strength on level up versus, 6 to 8. I don't know. But, you do get more, so it is what it is. Alright, so let's talk Granite. Granite starts out as an expert samurai, so generally I always just move him right to Ranger. The reason for that is because, and I'll be honest, it's tough to make, it's kind of tough to do that because at the end of the game, he's only got 11 levels to work with. So he actually will be able to get like the 5% crit by going the Ranger path, because the next step up is the Grappler, and the Grappler is the one that gets you the 5% crit. Unfortunately, you won't be able to keep if you do class change into Champion, which I wouldn't do with him. I would just move him back to Shogun at level 29. But anyways, he's got 284 rune power. That's okay. It's not great, but it's definitely something that you can work with. Obviously, Lance has 220. That's insane for level 1. So that actually is really good. All right, so moving on. Cole starts out as a bishop. He's already got it experted, or he's already an expert in it. So I would move him to mage right away. Unfortunately, Cole, because he's starting at level 16, he reminds me a little bit of, I think it's Isphus in Leonia. And the problem with him is that, actually with both of them, is if you do decide to go down the mage route, you'll have to end at Necromancer if you want Meteor Doom. And I love Meteor Doom. I think it's the best, most destructive spell in the game. Obviously extremely expensive, but it just destroys stuff. So, unfortunately, Cole will end up as a Necromancer, and you'll only be able to 4-star it. So, that said, you won't be able to, like I like to do with some of the other characters in the game, is actually level up both their, healer tree and their, basically their healer tree and their, offensive mage tree. And then I like to end up as on the healer side of it. The reason for that is that their base stats are better. They've got more defense in that stat versus the offensive mage. But, it is what it is, and there's, we don't have much options. So that's Cole. Malignant starts at level 20. He's an Avenger. I do the same thing. I swap him to Ranger right away. It's tough because he's, only got 10 levels to work with. So same deal as Granite, basically, where, you'll be able to finish out Grappler and you can expert that, but then I would swap him right back to Avenger. Reason for that is, that 10% health recovery per turn actually is pretty nice, and I would probably take that over basically the extra 5%, because you get 5% for the second tier of the Barbarian, which is the Berserker. So Berserker gets you the initial 5%, and then Avenger gets you the second 5% for a total of 10% health recovery. Now, again, end of the game, if I have the choice between 5% crit and 10% health recovery per turn, or 10% crit and only 5% health recovery, I'd probably go with the extra health recovery. So, and then on top of that, the Avenger actually does get a couple of spells too, so you can blow some of that mana, and that's obviously really nice against the white unit. So that's Malignant. I'll be honest though, so I mean his rune power is pretty bad. I mean only 209 at level 20 is not good. So it is what it is though. So that's the problem with New Almekia. I think in general is they've got a lot of these really high level knights, which is nice. Oops, sorry about that. It's nice because they are powerful, but they don't have any growth. So it's almost like what you see is what you get, or what you see is what you end up with in a certain sense. But anyways, all right. So let's move on. Carlotta, 170 rune power at level 8. That doesn't seem that great, but look at that mana. Granted, she does have a ring. I think it's like the Ring of Sorcery that does give her an extra 30, but even that said, I mean, she's still got what does that end up being? 389 without it? I mean, that's pretty good. But she does have a lot of levels under the Enchantress. Her HP stat, though, on the other hand, is not good. So only 341. So she is not going to be on the front line at first, at the very least. Probably later, once you've got some of these cleric levels under her, maybe, maybe you'll be able to move on to the front. Generally, I don't put any mage on the front line unless they've got around 500 health. Whereas somebody like Cole, now, I would probably leave Cole on the front line. So he's the kind of like the opposite example of that, where, and granted, he's double her level? Yeah, double her level. But yeah, I mean, I would leave him on the front line as a mage. And actually, the good thing about being able to do that too is your Geno spells are going to be able to hit more targets, just because again, you're on the front line. So, all right, so that is that for this set of characters. So let's see who else we've got here. I haven't decided where I'm going to move people yet for my first turn. Here's Lufal. Lufal is a project for sure. He's okay, although he only has 165 rune power. It's pretty low, but he is only level 6, so I cut him a little bit of slack for that. Now, apparently he's got a quest where if you change him into a Cavalier at level 10, and then send him out to quest, he has like a special quest that I think changes his... If I remember correctly, it changes his rune growth, so that he gets a little bit better rune growth. But I don't like the Cavalier class, so I don't do that. And I mean, I'll be honest, I think it's worth it. I don't think the extra rune power is worth making him a Cavalier. I don't know. I think the Cavalier class is just that bad. But anyways, yeah, I changed him to Ranger right away, obviously. All right, so let's see the next set here. Adelicia. Adelicia is interesting. She starts at level 11. Unfortunately, her intelligence is only 57. And you need 60 in order to change to mage. So in the last little bit of playing that I did with her, when she hit level 15, which is when she hits expert on Lancer, she still didn't have that 60 intelligence. So if you want to dual class her like I like to do, you need to send her out to quest or use an intelligence potion on her so that you can hit that 60 intelligence and then, you know, work on that mage tree. And by doing that, you'll actually be able to finish out the witch, you know, and fully expert the witch class. And then at level 30, you can swap her back to the Valkyrie, which is obviously the upgraded Lancer. So that's how I do that. That's how I handle Alicia. She's, again, it's tough though because the other, I mean, she has a decent amount of rune power. I mean, 230 at level 11 is really good. So it can hurt a little bit by having to send her out, but yeah, I think it's worth it. So anyways, all right, let's move on. Thaddicus Grappler. I actually like Thaddicus. He seems a little weak from what I remember, but you know, I don't know, 604 health is pretty decent. 176 rune power is not very good at level 11, obviously. I mean, you can even look at the difference between these two. I mean, Adalicia's got basically a whole 50, well, basically 50 more. Actually, more than 50. That's 54 more, you know, rune power. So, you know, that's rough. That's rough to have to deal with, but he is pretty strong. So you can at least use him for a little while. Bruisem, on the other hand, is total garbage. I mean, look at this. Level 13, only 158 rune power. He's one of the worst in the game, anyway, right now, anyways, because of that rune power stat. He's not quite as bad as, like, Langleborg, but, God, I mean, level 13, that's really rough. I'm going to leave him as Samurai right now. And same Thaddicus. I mean, obviously I'm not going to change Thaddicus either. He needs to finish out Grappler first, and then I'd, you know, probably swap him to, like, Fighter or whatever. Yeah. Alright, so this team looks good. And unfortunately, we have to start with these three. So that's the other kind of crummy thing. So I want to take a castle off of Asgary's right away, which means I have to use this set of three because, you know, we can... And actually, I need to move. Oops. It's not moved. Here we go. We're going to move Lufal up here. Because basically, so we've got a treaty, or we're going to sign a treaty basically on the first turn with Kai down here. And that makes it so that you don't have to worry about them attacking from the south. So we don't have to worry about defending that castle down there. And then let's see who's up here before we start our first turn. Alright, so Gilsis. Gilsis I do not like. He's a sorcerer. I don't like that class because it finishes out as Wizard. And Wizard does not have Meteor Doom. Which again, I think is the best you know, offensive spell in the game. So... that's just the way, or that, you know, it's crummy too, because once you've moved into Sorcerer, I should say, once you pick Sorcerer over Druid, you're stuck in that path, and you cannot go, you know, you can't go back. You can't go to Druid from Sorcerer. So, you know, that's a choice that you have to make, and, again, I don't like, this class because of the whole lack of Meteor Doom, but, it looks like, yeah, he's at 1 star. I would leave him here. I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't change him to, like, Priest yet. I would wait until we expert, or hit Expert in Sorcerer, and then I would swap him to Priest. Yeah, for the dual class. Alright, Ophelia, I think she starts out as an Expert, yes. So we're going to change her right away to Enchantress. This is probably pretty obvious. Again, I've, you know, mentioned this in probably some of my other videos too, but the offensive mages are just so much easier to level than the like the priest classes, and reason for that is obviously they've got offensive spells. It's just tough to level. It's just tough to level your knights as like a pure healer, because you don't get very much experience for healing. You know, you need to do damage. You need to take out monsters and knights. And it's almost impossible to do that with, you know, if you're just healing. So that's why that's actually why I dual class. I mean, every healer slash, you know, offensive mage. I always dual class those. All right. Anyways, last here, Legal. Legal only has 51 intelligence, which means if you want to try to make her into a mage, which you know, I would do just for the heck of it, just to see how it all ends up. But I mean, her stats are not good for that. Like 51 intelligence, so we'd need to send her out to quest, you know, to get, you know, either get lucky and get intelligence boosts or get potions to bring her intelligence up, so that we could change class. And I mean, and then on top of that, her MP stat is at 123, so that's really bad. Her rune power is okay for a level 2, but I would quest her, which is exactly what I'm going to send her out to do. Oh, I need to move some troops around. We're going to grab that. Anything that I know I'm not going to level up, I delete right away, because if you've played this, you'll be familiar with all of the monsters having upkeep costs. So basically a monster, you know, it costs you a certain amount of mana initially when you summon it, and then it costs you a little bit for upkeep as well. And if you're not planning on using a monster, there really isn't any reason to keep it, you know, because obviously, again, it'll keep costing you. All right, I'm gonna summon an angel. Oh, I forgot to turn off my summon animation. Whoops. Oh well. These graphics are amazeballs. All right, and I'm gonna grab 2 mandrake. Look at this guy. All right. And that knocks us down to 6 mana. And that's, yeah, whatever. We just need to push into Asgaris and take a castle from him right away. Yeah, this is going to be rough. Jeez. Yeah, these guys just don't have much to work. Generally, I don't like to, you know, stack up a bunch of one type of monster like this, but I don't have much for choice. Yeah, whatever. It's probably fine. Alright, so a lot of this stuff is going to be completely sacrificial. I don't care if this griffin dies, this giant, or these 2 scorpions, frankly. And it actually might be good if they get taken out in this battle, but actually am going to do one more thing here, which is actually, so this is I really dislike the nightmare. I might actually just delete that. Whatever. We'll try to sacrifice it to somebody or something. I don't know. I definitely need to delete that golem though. That's garbage. Gotta get rid of that. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of these griffins too. I'm not planning on doing anything with any of these characters this first turn. And actually, I'm gonna send Cole out to quest. Whoa, that was not good. I didn't mean to do that. Luckily, so I would absolutely reload my game at this point because I just deleted New Almekia's best monster. I actually meant to move that to somebody else, but I was still in the the delete. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, so luckily I'm not going to do anything with this save. I've actually already got a save much later on that will load up here in a second. But I still do want to show you guys kind of what I would do for this first turn. Yeah, here I need to get rid of these. Let's go here and here. Because I send Cole out actually to quest right away. Yeah, this looks good. Questing Cole early gets you another knight. I don't think he can get it like his very, very first turn, but it isn't it isn't too long, and then you'll be able to get that. The other thing is I would leave Lance here because you can summon dragons here. Yeah, actually dragons and unicorns. Dragons, unicorns, and pixies, in my opinion, are basically the best monsters to have. And so I would leave Lance here and then summon monsters, and then use Lance to bring your monsters to basically your battle teams. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna just save my state here. I'm not gonna bother saving. But I'm gonna play out this first turn just so that I can show you guys. It's important to take a castle from Asgary's right away because you get another knight, and that's the case with every country. You always want to take a castle from Asgary's. The reason for that is you'll get a knight, and his name is Schultes. That's his name. And Schultes, as long as he's not doing a quest, when you defeat Asgary's, or when somebody else defeats Asgary's even, you will get this guy right here, Solil. Solil is level 11 and has 311 rune power. That's insane. I don't know if he's got the best rune power in the game, but he might. I mean, it's insane. But anyways, all right, we're gonna try to take this castle down here. We're gonna try to take Eorzea, and so we need these three. This looked like the easier castle of these two to try to take. So, all right, that went well. So, as long as we take this, we've got it, and we'll get Schultes. So, hopefully this goes well. I expect it will. I need to change some of these options though, because I think the battle animation is still on, and I don't want to be sitting through all that. Oh, and I need to do quick movement too. Okay. Let's do off, etc. Swift units. Okay. That looks good. Oops, wrong button. I like to swap my view so that I can see it a little bit better. View here. View here. I will leave these over here. Basically, I set my characters up pretty much the same way for every battle. That can go there. Can go here. This guy can go way back here. Basically, you want to bunch up and make kind of like lines like this, so that by doing this, so like we'll just say Thaddicus here, he can only be attacked from this square or hex, sorry, and this hex. So you kind of want to always kind of set up like this. Now this guy technically could get attacked, from four different hexes, but really only by flying units, because of the other units are gonna kind of crash into my front line. But that's just the basic strategy that I let the enemies come to me instead of trying to get to them. It's a lot of better strategy, than stringing out your units so that they're not protected or not protecting each other. So let's just tail whip. All right. They texted me. Sorry. I have to return this. Let's attack you. Oh, crits. Critting like crazy. I didn't get the PZ. And that's one thing I really like about the mandrakes. Mandrakes are like, I don't know, damage magnets. They're almost always targeted by the AI because they've got such low defense, but they're great because they can paralyze your enemies, and paralyze is incredibly effective. Obviously you can't move, you can't do anything. So yeah, they're fantastic. And then once they hit level 10, if you upgrade them, they actually get a ranged attack as well. So they're a really good unit. Obviously great for the front line. And again, even at like level 10, and they do level fast, again, because they draw so much fire that, you know, they're always getting beat up on. And then, like I said, like at level 10, you know, once they get that ranged attack even, you can kind of start sniping. You know, if you've got some, there's a paralyzed, very nice. You know, if you've got something low in, like, you know, a secondary enemy line, or, you know, even you know, down the line, but you're not necessarily adjacent to them, you can use that ranged attack and, like, you know, finish enemies off. So, or at least do a little bit of extra damage. So it's they're great. I think mandrakes are fantastic units. I really lucked out with that PZ, to be honest. That's absolutely amazing that worked. I'm going to try to finish this guy off. Oh, jeez. Miss. Of course. Of course. And then I'm not going to attack this with my Mandrake because it's so low on health. I am, however, going to... Oh, hang on. I'm in the wrong thing. Oh, actually, I may attack that. Oh, okay. That finished him off. So, all right. There's one down. Threes. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, okay. Can't move out. All right, so they're stuck. That's fine. Let's... I'm tempted to just Divine Ray this dragon down, but because it's paralyzed, I don't really think I need to. So I'm going to heal this Mandrake instead. What I really should do is move these scorpions out front, because I don't care if they die. Oh. Same with this griffin, actually. I don't care if this griffin dies, so I'm gonna move it up front. And being that this dragon is already paralyzed, I'm just gonna hit him again. Because obviously we don't have to worry about taking or taking a counter attack, I guess. Crit, very nice. Spear throw is great. Adelicia actually probably could be out on the front line, to be completely honest. And with that spear throw, you know, I'd be able to you know, reach farther back if I needed to. But I've got just so many melee monsters that you know, we just really don't have room for her on the front line. So it's kind of an interesting problem to have. Usually that is not a problem for me. Usually it's the other way around. I've got too many, like, magical, you know, units or units that need to be protected. So, yeah. Anyways, odd problem to have, but that's a-okay. All right. We can't really attack anybody else, so we're done. Yeah, and I may have to move that Mandrake off the front line because it's getting low already. And that angel probably isn't going to be able to keep up on the healing. All right. Beating up on my samurai. That's all right. He is actually super weak. That guy's bad. It's kind of unbelievable how little HP that guy has. But I'll probably use him for this battle, and then I'll use him for questing for the rest of the game. So, you know, he'll serve his purpose. Oh, this guy is not paralyzed anymore. That's not good. So, all right, I'm going to move this guy out of the front line because I'm worried that, you know, he's going to take too much more damage. So I'll move up. I don't care if this guy dies. So we'll do that. And then I'm actually going to move this guy over here. Tail whip you. That wyvern, the wyvern's probably going to die too. That actually probably wasn't the best idea. Oh, and I can't get this scorpion out here anyway. So that's my bad. But I really want to get rid of... Oh, no mana. Let's see here. This turn's gonna get rough. I really need to get rid of this dragon. Can't afford to let him use another. Oh, did he use it? Yeah, he used a breath attack, didn't he? Yeah. But yeah, I really don't want him to use a second one. That looks like that's it for that group. Ugh, yeah, he's got so much health left. I think. Yeah, I need to do this. I would heal somebody or like one of my units, but I really want to get rid of this dragon. So, and I don't think that. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the only way to do it. So we'll spear throw, clunk, and that's that. And we'll do this. Oh, you can't even do 40 damage? Jeez. Jeez, kid. Alright, well, hopefully that guy lives. I can't get you up here. Alright. Let's keep knocking these clowns out. Let's see here. Probably want to heal this weak, pathetic samurai. Well. Oh, the miss, of course. Because giants always miss. Why wouldn't they? I think we'll just leave these back here. Oh, Fallberg, that's gonna hurt. Oh. Miss. Because clay golems always miss. Clay golems, I mean, even basically all the golem line are really. It's nice because they can't be affected by status effects, negative status effects. But man, they're just so hard to level because they miss all the time. Oh man, Thaddicus took a lot of damage there. Probably wasn't a good idea to move in range of 3 mages, but. You know, whatever. Yeah, this is where the... that's fine. This is where the AI makes some questionable decisions. But it is what it is. Oh, wait a second. Let's make sure. Ugh, that thing's got a lot of health left. Yeah, it's getting a little tight here on running out of monsters in my. I'm getting a little low on health on some stuff, but okay. Well, I can't do anything with that. Let's move here, and of course, not finish this off. Although that was a crit, so. Alright, now we'll move you up. Crack. Yeah, okay. Alright, we're getting there. This is bad. To be completely honest, I should probably just tuck tail and run with this guy, because... Yeah, I mean, any one of these is going to destroy him. Actually, even moving out of range here, he's still in trouble. Oh, there we go. I got to heal. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I should have checked. Actually, I think he was still out of range to heal from there, but I still probably should have checked. It would have been nice to take out Irvin, because then his demon would leave too, but such luck. Can definitely sacrifice these ghouls, even though I've been having them just chill in the back. Okay, finally we get to somebody that can do some damage here. I'm gonna Divine Ray this. Magic doesn't miss. And we'll throw a spear. Nice crit. Down to 3 health. We'll finish it off with this Drake. Hopefully this Drake doesn't die because it's going to get a good chunk of experience there. God, Esclados has way too much health. I don't even want to like start in on him because he's going to counterattack and wreck me. So hopefully I've got enough. Here we go. This will be a good amount of damage. Boom. I mean, hopefully they'll just retreat this turn and we'll be done. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, I mean, we're going to find out like right now. There it is. All right, we did it. We did it. Probably wise. I still had a good amount of beef left. So, all right, we did it. All right, so that's that. We'll now get Schultes or Schultlius, whatever his name is. And again, this is the same with all of the other countries. The first country that takes a castle from Asgares gets Schultes. And again, you know, once you've defeated or once another country defeats Asgares, you'll get Solio as well. So 2 knights for kind of the price of 1. Again, though, keep in mind Schultes can't be questing. There he is. All right. And then here's where where New Almekia and Carlotta discuss their treaty or non-aggression pact. That lasts until you attack one of their castles. So it's great. It actually is really nice. Because again, you don't have to worry about them, attacking. Schultes, we'll talk about him just a little bit here. I actually don't ever use him. I don't know. 171 rune power at level 12 is not good. And he's a cavalier, which, you know, I've been pretty clear that I don't like cavaliers, but I mean, you just don't have any other options. You can do ranger for a couple of levels, or probably want to finish out cavalier at least, or get him to expert, just so that you can keep heal. Excuse me, for when you actually go to level your ranger. But the good thing is, though, I mean, at the very least, Schultes can completely finish out the ranger line, so you can go, you know, ranger grappler, champion, and expert that, and then you can, finish out. I mean, obviously, you'll do 3 levels of cavalier, and then do 5 levels ranger, 5 levels grappler, 5 levels champion, and end up as, what is it? Is paladin the final class? I don't know. I barely ever play or finish out cavaliers. So so that's my 2 cents on him. So now again, and this is how I would do the first turn. Is, you know, always just like that. Get this castle, you get Schultes. Now I'm going to load some of my data here, and we'll talk a little bit about. Let me see if I can. Oh, there isn't. You can't do the Bizarro reset thing. Anyways, I'm going to talk a little bit about the knights that we'll get while we quest. Okay, so let's talk about the knights that New Almekia gets when, these knights have, like, special requirements. So, I think I'm at the wrong spot here. I think I've got them all at this castle here. So, obviously, this is a ways into the game, especially with Haley here. Haley is the hardest one to get. But let's talk about who you can get first. You can get Glaz first. Now, I think Glaz starts out as, he starts out as an expert cavalier. He's level 15. He's okay. So he's a lot like Schultes, I guess, where you can actually do, because you've got 15 levels to work with. So you can do 5 levels as Ranger, 5 as Grappler, 5 as Champion, and then you can finish. Yeah, obviously you'd be at level 30, but then you could class change back to, I think it's Paladin, to finish out, this, to essentially finish out this tree. Going that route, obviously, you're going to do a little bit better damage. Otherwise, I mean, if you wanted to, I guess you could try like a mage route. Let's just, I don't know, 155 mana at level 15 is not a lot to work with. So, his intelligence score is not very good either. So yeah, I don't know. I think I would go. I think I would go full melee route with Glaws. His strength seems pretty good. Yeah, it's okay. It's workable. But anyways, yeah, that's my opinion on him. Alsace, I think that's his name. Whatever. He starts, I believe, at level. It's either level 1 or level 2. He has okay rune power. It's low because he starts out at such a low level, but obviously he's already got, that means he's got a lot to work with too. Actually, here, let me back up. Sorry, Glaws. In order to get him, from the 5th month of the year 2015 on, you can get Glaws if you send Cole out to quest. I send Cole out to quest right away, just because I don't use him in the first few turns, and I want to get Glaws, so that's what I do. Alsace, on the other hand, from the 1st month of the year 2016, you need to have Garant at a castle, and obviously, so you can't have him out doing a quest. You just need to have him at a castle, which is pretty easy because Granite is pretty decent. So generally, I always use him anyway. So he will be at a castle essentially. Again, for that 1st month of year 2016. So he's super easy to get. Haley, on the other hand, and again, so Alsace, sorry, I'm skipping what I actually do with him. I do the same thing with Alsace as everybody else. He's a total project knight. Again, starts at I don't know if it's level 1 or if it's level 2, but so you've got a lot to work with. He starts out as a fighter. I make sure he's an expert fighter. Then I swap to ranger. Then I'll probably do grappler next, and then I probably do samurai after that. Do 5 levels of samurai, swap to champion, take his champion all the way to 30. He'll have a bunch of extra levels as champion, and I do that just because champion stat growth is really good, and then I finally will swap back to Shogun at level 30. That's Alsace. I like him. I think that, almost any knight that starts out like super low level, I usually use because they've got, so much potential. But anyways, Haley is then the opposite. So Haley's really difficult to get. So Haley, you have to have 14 castles. And then she leaves once you get to 26 castles. So, for a short amount of time, you get her. Now, that's annoying to me. I'll be honest. Sure, okay, she's a Valkyrie. She's already at level 21. Stat-wise, she's got a ton of rune power. So she can lug around, a bunch of monsters. Her health is pretty good, too. 71 int is not that great, and only 221 MP, but, what do you expect for a Valkyrie? But, when it comes to, what to do with her, I don't think I would use her at all, frankly. She's going to leave, so it's hard to justify, unless you need a major boost, at the point that you can get her. But, if you've got her, that means you've taken 14 castles. That means you're doing something right. So, I don't know. She's tough to justify even using. And again, it's really just because she leaves. If she didn't leave, she'd be amazing. You could probably I'd probably get a few levels out of Enchantress is probably what I would do with her. Just so she got a little bit more offensive, magic oriented. But, other than that, I wouldn't do much else with her. I don't know. I think I'd probably just quest her. So, that's that. That is New Almekia. Hopefully.